Okay, so now we will briefly talk about supervised and unsupervised learning with its application and some case studies and data sets. So to fully understand what happens in supervised and unsupervised learning, okay, so let's start. So what happens in supervised learning? In supervised learning, as the name suggests, someone is supervising over here. I will take an example of a data set to help you understand better. Okay, so in supervised learning, what I have told you in the previous section is about in machine learning that you in supervised learning we make a function f of x that maps your input variable to the output variable. Okay, so here in supervised learning we have the input data as well as the output data. Okay, means here as an example that we have this data set. Just assume that we have this data set, and here we have this outlook feature, temperature feature means x1, x2, then we have a humidity as x3, windy as x4. Okay, and here the red one, play tennis. So here is our problem statement is given on these features outlook, temperature and humidity and windy, we have to predict whether that boy will play tennis or not. Okay, so this is your target variable, or the variable that we want to predict. Okay, this is the target variable or the variable that we want to predict, so it is given in this case. So here we have our x variable as well as y variable, okay, as well as the y variable. Okay, so we want to make a function f of x using this data that maps our input value, all these features x1 all the way down to x4 to a y variable. Okay, so we'll give input whether it is sunny or whether it is hot or high or false, and given on this feature the function will give you output whether it will play no or yes. Okay, so here this is a supervised learning problem because we have our labels which you can see over here. Okay, so and you can also see that we have some kind of relationship between our input value and our output value y. As you can see that and there is some kind of relationship, like let's take an example of house price prediction. So given an input feature size, you want to predict the price of the house, so it is on a same niche. So there is some kind of relationship between our input feature x and output feature y. Okay, another property of supervised learning is that these features which are input features are independent features. What do I mean by independent features? They do not have to depend on any feature. They don't have to depend on any feature, but this target variable y is a dependent feature because the target variable y is depending on these features, to be mapped, and is depending on these features. So that's why x1 all the way down to the xi equals to 1 all the way down to the k means x1, x2, x3, x4 is an independent feature which we usually call as an independent variable or feature, and y is your dependent variable or feature. Okay, so that's called the features, the supervised learning. So let me write a basic definition or a good definition of supervised learning. What is supervised learning? A good definition. Okay, so the good definition of supervised learning is, here in supervised learning we have our input features x, we have our input features x, we have our input feature x, large x, and just assume that x, large x, contains all features in a vector all the way under the xi. Okay, so we have our input feature x, and also we have our output feature y. And there is some kind of relationship between the input value x and the output value y, and x is called independent feature. X features are called independent feature, and y is the dependent feature because it is dependent onto the input features. Okay, so we have shown you an example that there is a y that is used to train using x. Okay, that is using x and y. Okay, so we'll be able to predict our model. So we will see in the next section how we make a predictive model, okay, as a part of linear regression. So let's see some of the but before that I wanted to just show you that there are two parts of supervised learning. First one is regression, second one is classification. So what do I mean by regression? You know what your output will look like, because here we know that what our output, because we have already seen our data. So you can see that the output is in discrete value. What do I mean by discrete value? Your output is in finite, means either it will be yes or no. So here, if it is in discrete value, if you know that your output is in discrete value, then you consider that as a classification problem. How you identify that is a classification problem? When your output is in discrete value, and when your output is in continuous value, means it's not finite. Maybe the age of the person, maybe the stock prices, that is continuous. Okay, so that's why if your output is in continuous, then it's a regression. If your output is discrete, then it's a classification. Okay, so let's see some of the applications of supervised learning to help you understand more better, to get the feel of supervised learning. So in supervised learning, we have our favorite. In supervised learning, we have maybe the stock price prediction. You are given closing price high, closing high, then etc. Maybe some volume, and you would predict what is the stock price, and you want to predict this. You can consider C close as a target variable. You want to predict what will the closing price basis on high and volume. Okay, so high and volume are your independent feature, and C will be your dependent feature, which will be the y. Next is maybe the house price prediction. Maybe you want to base this on the size, like that. You want to predict what will be the output y. And maybe let's take example of a classification problem. You want to identify whether the person has a diabetes or not, basis on maybe the age, gender, BMI, etc. Okay, so we have this output variable y. Okay, so these are some of the applications of supervised learning. Okay, so now let's see unsupervised learning. As I'm not going to go deep dive into this unsupervised learning, there is a next section there is a particular section after supervised learning. We will cover the in-depth about unsupervised learning, but the core idea behind unsupervised learning, that in this case in supervised learning we are given xi as well as yi for every I equals to 1 all the way down to the m, and m here is the number of training examples, means okay, so that's m here is means we are given I. Okay, so here in supervised learning, we have this. In unsupervised learning we have only xi's. We don't have yi's. We have only xi. We have x1, x2, x3 all the way down to the xm. Okay, we don't have the label yi. There is no supervisor that will guide you. Okay, and what you have to do, let's take an example. You have this. Here is your data set. So here you have a channel, reason, fresh, milk, grocery, frozen, detergent, and delicatessen. So let's take an example that unsupervised learning is used in market segmentation, segmenting your customers. So you have these features, and you don't have whether the person with you. What you do, you just cluster the person which has similar nature. You just cluster the person. Let's take an example that this person used to eat milk, this person used to that, so you cluster this out. Okay, then you can hand code it. Okay, this person used to eat milk, and then you can send promotion to these people, or big deal, another thing to these people, so you can identify your business needs, etc. from these clusters. Either I'm not going to give deep dive into the application, etc., but I will go deep dive into the application, everything. But as of now, I hope that you understood supervised learning in depth. Okay, so that's it for this just a small video on supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In the next section we'll be starting with actually the math, and then we'll deep dive into the machine learning. You will see the beauty of machine learning. Okay, so let's meet at the next section. Till then, do the problem sets.